Long ago, in a forest far away, a mouse named Leah walked along a path. She passed another mouse named Mac, who was resting under a tree. "Hello," she said. "Hello," said Mac. "You are a very pretty mouse. Would you like a flower?" "Thank you," she said. "You are a very handsome mouse." And she took the flower. They sat together on a tree stump. They talked together. They found out they liked the same things. They found out they liked each other very much. They called together their friends. "We have found out we like each other so much, we are going to get married." Their friends cheered and cried, "Good luck!" Mac and Leah set off hand in hand to find a place to live. They climbed to the top of a high mountain where they could look down on a golden desert. "There is so much space here, there is sure to be a place for us," they thought. They did not notice the hawk who was flying above them in the sky. But the hawk noticed them. "What luck," he said to himself. "Two fat little mice for my dinner tonight." He swooped down to capture them in his fierce talons. But the sun cast his shadow on the sand. "Run, run!" Mac called. They scurried so fast that they got into a cave seconds before the hawk could reach down for them. Breathless but safe, they watched as the hawk flew away into the sun. "We will make our home here," said Mac. "Back in the cave, we will be safe from all harm. Don't you agree?" "Yes, yes," answered Leah. They explored the cave together. There was plenty of room under the earth for a fine mouse house. Mac worked at making another way to get in and out of the cave, while Leah set about the business of housekeeping. The time passed happily for them both. One day, Mac left their home to find food. He discovered a date tree, climbed it, and broke off a branch of dates. The branch was heavy to drag across the sands to the cave, but he didn't mind. It would be a nice surprise for Leah. But she had a greater surprise for him. While he was away, she had given birth to 5 little baby mice. Delighted and enchanted by the babies, the father picked up each one and hugged it. "We are a real family now," he said. And they all joined hands and danced in a merry circle. Later, as the baby mice grew bigger, they climbed out of their underground house and played in the sand. As the father watched them, he thought to himself, "Now that we are a big family, we will need another escape passage in case big creatures should find the main one." And the very next day, he started to dig. He dug up and up through the earth. "Any minute now," he said to himself, "I'll break through the surface of the earth and see the sky." But what a fearful surprise met his eyes when he came to dig away the last of the sand. He saw not the sky, but a lion. He saw a lion who had been sleeping directly above him. The lion saw him and roared. "A mouse! How dare you wake me with your scratching the earth?" And the lion reached for the frightened mouse and held him in his enormous paw. "I am sorry," squeaked the mouse. "I am truly very sorry I woke you up. I'll never wake you up again. I promise you, if you will only let me go, I'll be so grateful. I'll try to help you someday," he pleaded. The lion looked down at the little mouse. "A tiny, insignificant little thing like you help me, the king of the jungle?" And he roared with laughter. "Why, I'm so powerful, I can blow you up on a cloud," the lion roared. and I can blow you round and round in the sky. I can bring you to Earth with one wave of my paw. The lion picked up the little mouse, and I can eat you in one bite, he told him. I can put you on my tongue and hardly know you are there. You are so little. Or I can blow you out onto the ground. What makes you think anyone as small, as weak, as insignificant as you are could ever help me? I don't know how I ever could, but I promise you on my word as a mouse that I will try to repay you if you let me go now. The lion was so amazed at the mouse's promise that he let him run off over the sands. Mac hurried home and told Leah of his narrow escape and of the promise he had made to the lion. A week later, the mice heard the thump, thump, thump of the lion's paws as he walked over their underground house. The whole house trembled as the lion went by. He continued to walk into the forest near the desert. Suddenly, they heard a great roar that shook the earth. It was the lion's roar. He had fallen into a hunter's net. He twisted and he turned, and he turned and he twisted, but he was caught. He couldn't get out. 2 elephants came by and saw him, but they could not help him escape. Mac stood at the top of the passage to his house and listened to the lion's roar. He listened and he remembered his promise. He rushed along the passage. He called down to his family, "The lion must be in terrible trouble. I must keep my promise to help. All of you come along too." So the whole mouse family rushed up to the passage and across the sands, following the roar of the lion. They found the lion still tangled in the web of the hunter's net. "Don't worry," the father mouse told the lion. "Just lie still. We will get you free." And he and the mother mouse and all the 5 baby mice went to work with a will, chewing and biting the ropes that held the lion a prisoner. In no time at all, the ropes were broken and the lion was free. He was free to walk away from the net into the forest. He gathered his friends around him and told them, "I was rescued from the hunter's net by a mouse I had once captured and then let go free. I may be the great king of the forest, but I am a free king now because a small mouse remembered his promise to repay my kindness to him."
Once upon a time in northern Sweden, there was a farmer who lived with his little daughter, Eva, and 2 very hungry cows. The whole area was suffering from a drought. Nothing could grow, or if it did, it didn't last long. When Ava went to milk the cows, she didn't have much success. She thought about a place not far from their house, across the fields and the dark, gloomy forest, the Green Mountain, where there was always enough rain and the grass was as green as can be. But there was a giant there. Ava had an idea. She went to get the last piece of cheese in the house. It was so old that it was like a stone, and her father thought she had gone crazy. Even stranger, Ava baked the piece of cheese in the oven until the outside was as hard as granite. My poor daughter, thought the farmer, but he let her carry on and take the cows towards the Green Mountain. As they passed through the mysterious forest, they got the feeling that they were not alone. And it wasn't just the rabbits who were there with them. It wasn't just the owls either. Something, thought Ava, is following us. And as they emerged from the dark forest to the lush pastures of the Green Mountain, they met the giant. "Oh, sir," said Ava, "don't squeeze the poor cow. You'll get no milk there, but look what I can do with this stone." And out came some milk. The giant was amazed and thought, if a weak little creature like her can do it, how much more milk could I produce with all my massive strength? But he had no success. So then the giant just sat there watching the little girl and wondering how she managed to have such incredible strength. Being a rather slow-thinking giant, he sat there all day. The cows had eaten their fill and returned home well satisfied. Ava, though, was very relieved to be home safe. That night, she told her father all about how she had tricked the giant. And tomorrow, she said, "I'm going to go up there again, and this time I'm going to make him look a real fool." "Oh dear," said her father. Ava asked a little bird for help, and the bird came with her. The giant was waiting for her. "If you stand in my way," said Ava, "I'll throw you into the sky, just like I throw this stone. Look!" The stone, or the bird, disappeared into the distance.
If you can do that, so can I,
Said the giant, and threw up a huge boulder. So the giant tried to figure out how Ava was so strong, and eventually invited her to his home.
You're only skin and bone, but you're so powerful that you really deserve to live with us giants.
As she went, Ava wondered if she could get rid of the giants completely.
Hello?
Said the giantess greedily, looking forward to Ava as a tasty snack.
Let's have her toasted. Yes, but wait till tonight.
Dear, thought the cows.
Better tell Ava about this. Yes. Oh, Ava, there's something we think you ought to know about those giants. Yes, that's right, they're out to eat you.
Don't worry, said Ava.
Just so long as you know.
When the giant thought Ava was asleep, he made off with her entire bed, thinking that she was in it. Ava, of course, had substituted the milk churn. The giant was overjoyed to have destroyed such a dangerous little enemy. When he saw Ava alive and well, he got the shock of his life. To decide who was boss once and for all, the giantess organized an eating contest.
If you can eat as much as my husband, we'll go away. Otherwise, you go.
The greedy giant didn't notice that Ava wasn't really eating. He just swelled up in an enormous ball and rolled all the way out of the house. As her husband bobbed out to sea, the giantess realized that she had better follow him. Ava was just too much. Ava and the cows rejoiced at their good fortune, and Ava's father rushed up to join them in the rich pastures of the Green Mountain.
Hundreds of years ago, the English countryside for miles around was owned by one rich man. He was a hard master, and poor Jack had to work for him long and late. One day, Jack had been left to do an impossible task when he realized, with delight, that his sweetheart was near. In her company, the hours sped by like minutes. Meanwhile, Jack's master was demanding the rent for his cottage. Pay up or get out. Jack set out sadly to seek his fortune, and before long he saw a traveler in distress. By great good luck, he had rescued a fairy in disguise and was given a fairy gift. With his magic donkey, Jack found an inn for the night. The innkeeper demanded to be paid, so Jack lost no time in setting the donkey to work. Jack enjoyed a sound night's sleep, but unhappily, he had reckoned without the dishonest innkeeper. Next morning, Jack set off gaily to claim his bride and to prove he had enough money to marry her. Jack and his sweetheart could already hear the sweet sound of wedding bells as they prepared to pay the rent to the master. Sadly mistaken, Jack set off for the second time to seek his fortune. Once more, he rescued a fairy in disguise and was given a fairy gift as his reward. With his magic table, Jack went to the inn at nightfall. As before, he suspected nothing as he set out next morning to claim his bride. As before, he was sadly mistaken. And so, for the third time, Jack set out to seek his fortune, and all went as before. The third gift was a stout stick. Jack looked at it doubtfully until he found out what a very magical stick it was. After a taste of the magic stick, the innkeeper was only too glad to hand over the real donkey and the real table he had stolen. Jack returned in triumph. Thanks to the 3 magic gifts, he could pay the money that was owing. Jack's old master was a hard man to satisfy. In the end, the magic stick made him see he had had enough. So, at last, all was set to rights. Jack and his bride could truly celebrate, and the magic table provided all the food for the wedding guests.